Imagine this. Right now, in this very moment, you hold the quiet power to turn life's hardest trials into your greatest growth. It might not feel that way, especially in the middle of the storm, but the potential is there. And that's where we turn to Stoicism. This isn't just ancient philosophy, it's lived wisdom. A way of seeing the world that has helped people for centuries face adversity with clarity, grace, and inner strength. So think back for a moment. When was the last time life tested your patience, rattled your confidence, or pushed you to the edge? How did you respond? Did you react on impulse, or did you pause and act from your values, not your emotions? That's the heart of Stoicism. Not cold detachment, but a grounded response. A way of living where your actions align with your principles, not just your passing feelings. Today, we explore one of its most powerful teachings, training your mind to respond, not react. It's not about bottling up anger or pretending things don't affect you. It's about awareness, about being so rooted in the present, so clear on what you can control, that you meet life as it is, with composure, with intention, with wisdom. The Stoics believe we don't always choose what happens to us, but we always choose how we interpret it, how we show up in response. And in that space, between stimulus and response, is where our freedom lives. So ask yourself, how much peace have you lost to quick reactions? How many regrets were born from moments when you didn't pause? Now imagine something different. Imagine carrying a stillness within you that isn't shaken by noise or chaos. A calm that doesn't depend on circumstances. That's not just peace of mind, it's strength. The kind of strength that can carry you through anything. This work isn't just about staying calm under pressure. It's about becoming a more grounded, compassionate, and resilient version of yourself. Qualities that don't just improve your own life, they ripple outward, shaping how you show up for others too. In today's conversation, we'll explore how to build that kind of inner strength. We'll draw from both modern psychology and the enduring wisdom of Stoic philosophy to help you develop a mindset that chooses responses rather than reactions. Together, we'll look at the role of mindfulness, the importance of understanding and expressing your emotions in a healthy way, and how to keep sight of the bigger picture, even when life feels overwhelming. This broader perspective was one of the Stoics' greatest strengths, and it's just as valuable today. By the end of this reflection, you'll have a simple, clear toolkit to help you pause, process, and respond, especially when it matters most. So let's walk this path together. Let's learn to steady ourselves in the storm, to respond with purpose, and to transform not just what happens, but how we move through it. At the heart of this practice is a shift in how we relate to our thoughts and emotions. When we choose to respond rather than react, we enter a space where each decision becomes intentional, where every word and action reflects awareness, not impulse. This is what the Stoics taught so well. These ancient thinkers from Greece and Rome believed that while we may not control what life hands us, we always control how we meet it. They saw true power not in dominance, but in discipline, the kind of discipline that allows you to pause, reflect, and act with clarity. And that's why this work matters. Because in the moments that test us, whether it's a tense meeting, a personal challenge, or a difficult conversation, it's easy to slip into old patterns, to react out of fear, frustration, or ego. But when we train ourselves to respond with presence, with thoughtfulness, with alignment to our values, we begin to shift the entire trajectory of that moment. And over time, those moments become a life. In difficult moments, our first impulse is often to react, quickly, instinctively, driven by a wave of emotion. And while that reaction may feel justified in the moment, it rarely serves us well in the long run. It can escalate conflict, strain relationships, and lead to choices we later wish we hadn't made. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes deeply relevant. The Stoics taught that to live well is to live in alignment with both nature and reason. They believed in guiding every action through clarity, self-awareness, and virtue, not impulse. By practicing this way of thinking, we learn not to ignore our instincts, but to create space around them. To step back, observe what we're feeling, and respond in a way that honors our deeper values and long-term intentions. Choosing to respond rather than react begins with a simple but powerful pause. In that pause, we acknowledge what's happening, both outside of us and within us. We notice the trigger, we feel the emotion, but we don't let it take the wheel. Instead, we give ourselves the opportunity to choose, to assess the situation with a clear mind, to consider what outcome we want to create, and to act in a way that is calm, deliberate, and firmly within our control. This isn't about suppressing emotion or pretending to be unaffected. It's about developing the emotional maturity to feel fully, without being ruled by those feelings. It's about recognizing the signal beneath the emotion, understanding its origin, and deciding what, if anything, it should shape in our response. This kind of inner discipline strengthens more than just your peace of mind. It shapes the quality of your relationships. It deepens your leadership, and it builds the quiet resilience you'll need when life doesn't go according to plan. Because in the end, it's not about never being shaken. It's about learning how to return to stillness. Not because the world is calm, but because you are. When you respond with intention rather than impulse, something powerful happens. You show respect for yourself and for others. You create space for empathy, for understanding, and for connection. And in that space, your interactions become more meaningful, more constructive, and more aligned with the kind of person you want to be. But learning to respond thoughtfully takes more than good intentions. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to train the mind, just like the Stoics once did. These ancient philosophers left us with timeless insights, and among the most valuable is the reminder that growth begins inward. That if we want to meet the world with clarity and calm, we must first learn to observe ourselves. So let's begin with self-awareness, a foundational principle in Stoic thought. The Stoics emphasized introspection, the quiet, ongoing practice of understanding your own mind. In our daily lives, this means becoming more aware of your inner landscape, your thoughts, your emotions, your triggers. When you can recognize what's happening within you, you're no longer swept away by it. You create just enough space to choose differently. And in that space, change begins. From there, we turn to the simple act of pausing. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, often reflected on the space between stimulus and response, the space where our freedom lives. That pause doesn't need to be long. A single breath, a moment to check in with yourself, a brief reflection before you speak or act. And in that moment, something shifts. You step out of autopilot. You stop reacting and start responding. This isn't about perfection. It's about practice. It's about becoming more present, more aware, and more intentional, one pause at a time. It's in that quiet space, the pause between impulse and action, that we can turn inward and ask, what does virtue call for here? What response would reflect the kind of person I'm striving to be? This is the voice of your inner Stoic, not a cold, detached judge, but a steady guide reminding you to act with clarity, with principle, and with care. Another essential practice on this path is learning to reframe. The Stoics often use this strategy to maintain calm and perspective in the face of hardship. Reframing doesn't mean denying difficulty. It means choosing to see it through a wider lens. Instead of viewing a setback at work as a threat, you might choose to see it as a chance to develop patience or to refine your skills under pressure. When you change the way you interpret an event, you often change the way you feel about it. And from that shift in emotion, new paths for action appear. This isn't about forced optimism. It's about choosing the most empowering and truthful angle from which to view the situation. The Stoics also taught us to focus on what we can control and to release what we cannot. At first, this might sound like resignation, but it's the opposite. It's about conserving your energy for where it truly matters: your thoughts, your choices, your character. Letting go of what's outside your control isn't giving up. It's freeing yourself to act fully within the space where your power lives. It's choosing to meet life not with resistance, but with intentional action, grounded in integrity. And that's where real strength is found. One of the most powerful habits you can build is consistent reflection, the quiet practice of looking back on your day with honesty and care. The Stoics did this daily. They examined their actions, asked where they lived in alignment with virtue, and where they fell short, not to judge themselves, but to grow. We can do the same. At the end of the day, take a moment to reflect. Where did I respond with clarity and intention? Where did I react on impulse? Celebrate the moments you stayed grounded, and learn gently from the ones you didn't. This ongoing self-awareness, this willingness to reflect and adjust, is how a responsive mind is trained. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up again and again with more wisdom, more patience, and more presence. By living this way, we not only honor the legacy of Stoic thought, we empower ourselves to move through life with greater calm, clarity, and purpose. With steady practice, we reshape the mind. We teach it to reflect our deepest values rather than our passing reactions. At the heart of this work is mindfulness. Mindfulness means coming fully into the present moment, noticing what's happening within and around us without judgment, observing our thoughts, our emotions, and even our discomforts, so we can respond with intention instead of being swept away. This aligns deeply with Stoic practice. The Stoics sought to live with full awareness of their inner state, grounding themselves in the only moment where action is possible, now. One simple way to begin is through breath meditation. Sit quietly and bring your attention to your breathing, just noticing each inhale, each exhale. And when your mind drifts, gently bring it back. This isn't just about relaxation, it's mental training. Each return to the breath strengthens your ability to stay focused and steady amid distraction or stress. You can also bring mindfulness into everyday activities: eating, walking, washing the dishes. These moments, often overlooked, become powerful when you approach them with full attention. Notice the details, feel the textures, listen closely. These small practices sharpen your presence and help you stay rooted in your responses, even in more demanding situations. Another supportive practice is the body scan. Slowly bring awareness to different parts of your body, noticing tension, sensations, or emotions stored there. This practice fosters a deeper connection with yourself and teaches you to witness your body's signals without being overpowered by them, something the Stoics understood well. And mindfulness isn't just a solitary practice. It transforms how we relate to others, too. By being fully present in conversation, by listening without rushing to respond and observing without judgment, we build deeper, more meaningful connections. We create space for empathy, patience, and mutual respect. These are deeply Stoic values, grounded in the belief that how we treat others is a reflection of our own character. In the end, cultivating mindfulness isn't about escaping life. It's about being fully in it, with clarity, with compassion, and with the quiet strength to respond, not react. And as we practice this way of living, we begin to see something essential: that others, too, are rational beings, each carrying their own challenges, their own wounds, their own inner battles. Recognizing this softens the edges of our judgments and allows empathy to grow, even in moments of tension. Through these mindfulness practices, we walk the same path the Stoics once walked, a path of clarity, stillness, and thoughtful action. As we learn to stay present, we develop the strength to meet life's inevitable difficulties not with panic or defensiveness, but with grace, composure, and grounded wisdom. Now let's shift from reflection to application, from ideas to action. The real work lies in living these principles day by day, especially in the small, often overlooked moments. Cultivating a lifestyle where responses take precedence over reactions isn't about denying our emotions or suppressing what we feel. It's about bringing more awareness into how we engage with life, responding not out of habit, but with intention. This is the Stoic way, to live deliberately, with reason and purpose guiding our steps. To begin embodying this in your daily life, it helps to develop steady, simple practices that reinforce your ability to pause, reflect, and respond. Imagine you're facing a difficult situation, a disagreement at work, an unexpected setback, or harsh words from someone you care about. The natural impulse might be frustration, defensiveness, even anger. But this is where your training comes in. This is where you pause. Take a breath, step back. Ask yourself, what would a Stoic do here? This question isn't about ignoring your emotions. It's about using them wisely. It's an invitation to engage your reason, to find clarity in the middle of discomfort, and to respond in a way that reflects your values, not just your mood. Sometimes, that might mean walking away for a few minutes before replying to a heated message. Other times, it might mean turning inward and asking yourself, what's really bothering me here? Is it the situation, or is it the story I'm telling myself about it? This kind of reflection doesn't silence emotion. It gives it direction. It transforms raw reaction into meaningful response. And in doing so, it allows you to move through life with greater integrity and inner steadiness. When you take the time to respond, rather than react, you're doing more than managing a moment. You're training yourself to engage with life more thoughtfully. You're choosing to look beneath surface irritations and address the deeper truths with clarity and care. Each time you make that choice, you reinforce a powerful pattern, one of presence, of resilience, and of inner peace. Over time, this way of engaging becomes less of a strategy and more of a way of being. And when you integrate this approach into your daily rhythm, its impact grows. Begin your mornings with quiet reflection. Set your intention to move through the day with awareness, to meet challenges with calm, and to stay rooted in your values no matter what unfolds. A few minutes of mindful clarity at the start can shift the entire tone of your day. Journaling can also deepen this practice. Use it to reflect, not just on what happened, but on how you responded. Acknowledge the moments you showed restraint or insight. And where you faltered, meet yourself with honesty, not judgment. Every experience becomes a lesson. Every moment, a chance to refine your path. At the heart of this is a mindset of continuous growth. The understanding that mastery is not a destination, but a daily choice. Each day gives you new opportunities to practice. Not because you failed, but because you're human, and because this work matters. By committing to this path, you're embracing more than just a method for handling stress or managing conflict. You're choosing a life of intention, a life that mirrors the Stoic pursuit of wisdom and virtue, a life aligned with your highest values. And in doing so, you don't just change how you experience the world, you change how you contribute to it. Your calm becomes a quiet invitation for others to pause. Your thoughtfulness becomes a source of stability. Your discipline becomes an example of what's possible. The journey from reaction to response is subtle, but profound. It draws you into a deeper relationship with both yourself and the world around you. It's a path the Stoics walked with patience and purpose. And now, with their wisdom as a guide, you too can meet life's challenges, not with resistance, but with grace, clarity, and intention. To truly embody the spirit of Stoicism in the modern world is not simply about managing isolated reactions. It's about weaving a thoughtful, grounded way of responding into the fabric of our daily lives. When we live by Stoic principles, focusing on what's within our control, acting with reason, and striving to live with virtue, we begin to meet life's challenges with greater steadiness and meaning. This isn't about detachment or indifference. It's about clarity, about living with intention, even when the world around us feels uncertain. The Stoic path invites us to treat each moment, no matter how ordinary or difficult, as an opportunity. Whether it's a small frustration, a major setback, or a life-defining decision, each is a chance to practice. To embody the core Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. And each time we choose to respond with thoughtfulness rather than react from habit, we not only strengthen our own well-being, we bring something steady and constructive into the lives of those around us. But this journey isn't a destination. It's a discipline, a daily commitment to self-awareness, reflection, and growth. Like the Stoics before us, we cultivate this mindset not through perfection, but through practice. We pause. We reflect, we learn, and when we stumble, we return again and again to our values, adjusting course with humility and purpose. This steady commitment transforms us from the inside out. It deepens our relationships, strengthens our communities, and quietly ripples through the larger world we're all part of. So as we bring this reflection to a close, let it also be a beginning. Because every moment, every pause, every challenge, every conversation is a new chance to choose, a chance to embody the calm, the resilience, and the quiet wisdom that Stoicism offers. A chance to respond, not from fear, not from ego, but from depth, clarity, and virtue. And in doing so, we don't just walk the Stoic path, we become it. Every response you choose is a thread in the fabric of your character, woven with intention, guided by purpose. As we come to the end of this reflection, I invite you to keep exploring. On the screen, you'll find more videos that go deeper into the art of living with wisdom, clarity, and calm. Thank you for being here with us at Stoic Mindset Mastery and for choosing the path of mindful response over reactive impulse. May your journey ahead be steady, grounded in virtue, and filled with a quiet sense of peace.